Marlene here from Anna's Flowers, and I'm going to do a little video to show you how to make a custom winter planter of your own. They're so much fun to make. I hope you can share in the fun. I have a bunch of different greens I want to show you. First we'll start with our ingredients. So I'm starting with a pot. I've got a mix of peat and topsoil in here, nice and heavy so that it holds moisture through the whole winter season and it's not going to blow away on you. I have my pruning shears, I have scissors, and you can have gloves. If you're a farm girl like me, you need to feel the greens, so I don't like to use gloves. So our first set of greens are Ontario greens. So I have a mixture here of pine, cedar, and balsam. These are great, they're inexpensive, they make a great base to your planter. But all the next greens that I'm going to talk about are much more decorative, lots of contrast, a little more expensive, but they last right through until March. So you won't have to change them out until springtime. So let's get on to those. So you'll see my BC pine here has a little bit of a blue hue. It waves and bends, so it's great for the center or the exterior of the planter to go all around the perimeter. Same with the silver fir. I love this underside. Silver makes a nice contrast against the green. Also drapes, so it makes a great perimeter green. I've got BC cedar here. Also has that blue hue. Lasts super long, nice green, fresh. It's going to last you right till March. For upright greens, I've got some spruce that we cut out in our yard. These last so long. They're upright, they make a great filler. Onto our accenting greens. We've got one of my favorites, boxwood and Oregonia. So boxwood is lush green and Oregonia has the variegated leaf. Those are upright, so those are another great filler, just like the spruce. Another type of cedar is incense cedar. So you'll see it has these little white ivory balls on the ends of it. I love adding these as a final touch to my planter for that nice contrast. Another one of my favorites, magnolia, super natural copper leaf color, looks great against the green. And eucalyptus is super hot this year. We've got the baby eucalyptus for upright in the center of your planter. I've got the seeded eucalyptus, and I love this, the dyed eucalyptus. So we've got dyed burgundy and dyed purple. Look at that vibrant purple, and it matches my shirt. It's perfect. For the center of your planter, you're going to want to pick some twigs or birch. We have a ton of variety. So I have some natural 4-foot birch poles here. These are my favorite iridescent birch twigs. So they have a little iridescent glitter on them. When the sun hits these, they are so sparkly, so pretty. I like to add another natural red element. After all, it is a winter planter, so red is great for Christmas. So I've got dogwood here. And I've also got these little birch frosted twigs. They're called Touch of Winter. Gotta love that. And you can see behind me tons of different colors of twigs. The options are endless. We have so many. And of course, if you have any trees in your yard, you can pick your greens and your twig branches from there. And also for some seasonal touches, I've got some pine cones, lotus pods, I've got some metal globes, lattice stars, and tons of different finishes and colors. So here we go. I'm going to show you how to start. So the first step is to insert your tall birch twig. So you're going to want to give it a swift push. I like to do odd numbers, so I'm going to put 3 birch twigs in here. And you're going to build your arrangement around these birch twigs. So before I start, I like to cut all my greens to a desired length. So I'm going to consider all of the components that I want to put around the perimeter of it, and I want to cut them to be proportional to my planter. So I'm going to be doing a 16-inch planter in a roughly 18-inch urn. So some of these pieces are a little bit too long. I don't want them to span this far for my planter. So I want to cut them to about 14 inches. So any of my long pieces, this is my silver fir, I'm going to trim in half, and then my strips are ready to be quickly inserted. I'm going to do the same for my BC cedar because these tend to be quite long. I'm going to save a couple pieces that are nice and tall for the center, but again, I don't want my perimeter to span that wide, so I'm going to cut these in half roughly to about 14 inches again. All right. I'm ready to go. Let's make some magic. So a lot of people ask, how do I take care of my new winter planter? So you'll want to make sure your planter is initially drenched very well. We will do that here. If it continues to be mild, you want to drench it again weekly, making sure that it's kept moist until it freezes. After it freezes, you won't have to water it any longer. If it's a warm and windy winter, you'll want to mist it. A lot of customers also ask, how long will my planter last? So as long as it's frozen, or you're misting it if it's warmer, it will last right until March. So right until spring when it gets warm and it's time for spring flowers. So your planter outdoors will be full all year round. So that was super easy, wasn't it? It only took me about 5 minutes, and I'll just give you a little lowdown on what I did. So what I did was I started with my Ontario greens as the base. So again, I used my pine, cedar, and balsam, and I created the shape of my planter. So I put my cedar and pine and balsam around the perimeter, and then I grabbed some upright pieces of cedar and I put them in the center. I started with my BC pine next for some more upright central focus. And I also added my spruce right here as filler all around my birch. Then I went into my boxwood, so my accent foliage, again to help fill the center. I added my BC cedar beneath, which is that nice droopy cedar, and the silver fir to create this drooping effect in the front. And then I added all my accent foliage. So I added the magnolia, of course all the accent greens are going to be only on the outside. So the bulk of the planter is not created with those. The accents are just added at the very end. So I added the magnolia at the end. I added the seeded eucalyptus in the center. I'm sorry, the baby eucalyptus in the center. I added the seeded eucalyptus, and I love that dyed seeded eucalyptus for the front as well. I think it looks great. I hope you like it. Let us know what you think. Comment below. Also, I want to bring everything together. I'm going to do kind of a natural with a little bit of glitz for some added embellishments. So in order to tie the top of the planter with the bottom, which has that nice dyed seeded eucalyptus, I'm going to add some red dogwood. If you're lucky enough to have some red dogwood in your yard, you can just go snip it. We also have it here in the store available if you don't. We have a lot of shimmery twigs as well that are beautiful when the light hits them, and they are glittery from far away. So I love that. I feel like it ties it together. I also can't get enough of this touch of winter, so I want to add a little bit of that too, and I think it really brings out the white in the birch. So I'll add some of that too. I love that. I hope you do too. Pine cones. We have an endless variety of colors, but I'm going to stick with the neutrals. My planter's pretty big, so I'm going to grab a couple of these sugar cones. Now, they're pre-staked, which is nice and convenient for quickly adding. I've got some nice glittered balls. Let's throw a couple of those in too. I've got a few different sizes. I love the lotus pods, so let's grab a few natural and a few glittered. So I'm going to grab my clippers. I don't have my apron on today, or else I always have those on me. So I'm going to clip them so that they don't stand taller than I want them to in the planter. And I'm going to, I like to use odd numbers, so I've got 5 total here. So I'm going to do a little cluster of 3 on one side and a cluster of 2 on this side. I do have some berries as well. If you want to add berries, you've got natural berries, you've got a few glittered berries. There we go. What do you think? I think it looks great. I'm not going to add a bow here because I don't want to hide all of my beautiful greens in the front. But we have an endless selection of bows as well if you want to. There we have it. I'm happy with it. There's the finished product. So if you're creative and you want to make your own, we have a ton of supplies to choose from. We have different colors, different greens, everything you see here we have available. We also have a ton of pre-made planters available for purchase as well. If you don't see what you like, we can always custom make something for you too. We hope to see you soon.